You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the Bulls losing to the Denver Nuggets without Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. We're also going to talk about the Bulls doing exactly what we told you they would do and not go full rebuild. And we're going to talk about the Bulls' inaugural Ring of Honor class. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. Shout out to Ghost of Judah Tribe. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central.
What's going on?
YouTube pages and podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Pat, the Chicago Bulls. Oh man, listen. Big nights from Kobe and Vooch. Nikola Jokic gets ejected in the first half of this game, and it almost is like it made the Bulls not understand what they needed to do on defense more. We still end up losing this game by 8 points. It should have been an even bigger deficit than that if we're just being 100% honest. How'd you feel about the Bulls losing this game, brother?
I thought the first half, the Bulls were in a full-on dogfight trying to get back into that game, literally up and down. I mean, they got the lead for all of a minute off of a Kobe White deep three-pointer, and I love the way Kobe played tonight. But, the second half was just the tale of a different team. And the one thing that, we're on this, we're riding high, we feel good about where the Bulls are at, and then all of a sudden it feels like a gut punch in the second half. I do want people to understand, second of a back-to-back in a game where you just played in overtime, they're probably a little bit tired. I know that is an excuse or whatever we're going to say. I think my issue in the second half is more so there was nobody trying to fire the team up, trying to get the team going, trying to get the team to go out there and maybe push past their limits. But outside of that, I still think you should come away with a game in a game where there's no Jamal Murray, there's no Nikola Jokic, but this team is used to playing stretches without those guys on the court. They know how to play together. We've seen Aaron Gordon be the number one where he's literally the only option on the floor, and that Denver Nuggets team was still a really good team. You can't take that team lightly. That's still a championship level team out there. And I mean, listen, the Bulls were on the losing end of it. You didn't have enough talent tonight, and it sucks. But I mean, if we're being 100% honest, at the end of the day, second of a back-to-back in a game you went to overtime. That's going to weigh on you going into that second half a little bit. And that's what it looked like to me, because everything was just
energy wasn't
short. Everything was short at the rim. Vooch couldn't get himself going in the second half much. I thought that the Bulls as a whole did a poor job fighting for the rebounding in the second half, out-rebounding guys, all the things that they pushed themselves to do in the first half, they just didn't have the legs for in the second half to me.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I think the thing that frustrated me in this game personally, Pat, and you can tell me how you feel about it. I understand the energy because those are all right. Like you said, shots were coming up short. There were several times where Pat, Kobe, even like I said, even Kobe, DeMar, they just missed wide open shots in the mid range. They had the opportunities, they missed it. The energy was coming down. It is what it is. That's the second of a back to back. I also think that this was a game that it just seemed like the execution was off, the timing was off. It didn't seem like the players were as connected as what we've seen over the last 5 games prior to this. That plays into being the second of a back-to-back as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I still think that, there's no excuse on the fact that you can't go out there and try. I felt like there was a lack of try in that second half, minus, Kobe White to me seemed like he was trying everything that he could, but DeMar in the second half looked like an old man. Yeah. I'm sorry. I love DeMar. I love what he's brought to this team, but he looked like an old man in the second half, and that was a time to me where you go heavy Kobe White, maybe try to work in some Julian Phillips on that, try and get some young guys, some fresh guys out there. They tried to work in a little bit of an infusion Dalen Terry in the third a little bit, but I thought that if you were going to make a run, you were going to need guys that were going to be hard hustling muscle out there and who didn't play last night. And Billy Donovan's just not going to go to those guys, right? I think we see coaches often that will go to their
we got killed
guys
by a rookie today. Julian Strawley killed us in the second. He led the Nuggets in scoring in the second half of the game.
100%.
But you won't see Billy Donovan do that. This is not the way that Billy Donovan coaches.
It's not how he operates. It's not who he is. And I thought that was a product of kind of what we saw in the second half of that game as a whole. It sucks. It is. What's going on in the comments over there? It sucks. It is what it is. But the Bulls dropped 2 after winning 4 straight. And you got 2 coming up against Miami that is going to be a tough 2 on the road. So you would have loved to get at least one of these kind of in Milwaukee and then coming back here to Chicago. I think they went all out for that Milwaukee one, which is why that one ends up getting overtime. Hopefully we see the competition level stay high.
Do you have faith that this team could get back? Do you think it is just as simple as it's a second of a back-to-back? Has anything over the last 2 games made you concerned over them being able to get back consistently once AC, everybody's healthy, to get back to the heart that we had seen the team play with recently?
No, because I think they still exhibited it in the first half.
Yeah.
Right. Like they weren't
got down to a 14-4 deficit to start this game.
Yeah, you got down bad early and you had to fight your way back into it, right? And that's really what it came down to. I mean, the first quarter really got out of hand, but I mean the Bulls still came out there. They put up 50 in the first half as a whole. They played some really good defense, I thought, in that first half. I think that was what really killed them in the second half, right? Was the rotations defensively just seemed completely like they had no legs to get out to them. Now, I mean, defensively is 90% effort. You got to be able to work through that. You got to be able to fight through that. The championship teams will do that. We're clearly a long way away from that, but even in those moments, right? Like I thought that the Bulls played really hard early, and in the second half, they just didn't have somebody that was more willing to push them to be to dig deeper in that second half, and that is the AC role to me. And going down to Miami, hopefully AC's back and ready to go. I would have rather we sat AC. We had this conversation before, right? You're sitting AC now in a stretch of games that is probably the toughest stretch of games you're going to go through in the month of December. To me, you should have sat AC last week when we're playing the Spurs, when we're playing Charlotte. That's the time where you allow him to try and get some rest. Sometimes you got to save the player from themselves, and I really thought that that might be a little bit of a mismanagement.
Are you worried at all? Kobe White's been on a great stretch. Keep making history with Chicago Bulls. I think now it's up to 12 as far as 12 games in a row with over 4 3-pointers made.
Yeah.
Are you worried at all that Kobe may start slowing down at some point in this?
He didn't in this game.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean, he didn't in this game. Kobe White to me has turned a corner that I'm actually interested to see where this road leads. Right? Like tonight was the first night where I looked at tonight was the first night where I looked at Kobe White and I was like, yo, maybe he can be if not a number 1, a 1A or a 1B on a team that does end up going a long way, because Kobe was just like, the shooter that we need has always been here, and you guys just didn't want me to shoot the basketball as much. Yeah, I mean, like that.
Nah, I won't say that. He shot the ball terribly last season.
He did shoot the ball very up and down. He shot the ball pretty poorly at the end of that season last year. But I think, right, like when you think about what Kobe's been through, right, going away from him, what is Kobe White right now if we never go away from him as our number 1, as our point guard? You know what I mean? Where's he at in his career if we don't go away from him in that situation? Now, it's not to say Kobe wasn't playing bad back then, but like when you have your role change 3-4 times, that changes the path that you're on. Now he's a guy who's, I mean, listen, Kobe put up what? 15 shots in this game and was just incredibly efficient. 5 for 10, 8 for 15 on the day. Like
that's what's making this
and
run
your number
Kobe,
1 scoring option.
Kobe. So in the month of December so far, he's averaging 26.8, so basically 27 points per game on 54% shooting from the field and 59% from 3-point range.
Yeah.
Listen, 7 rebounds from your point guard and 5 assists. Those are all-star numbers.
We keep forgetting he's 6'5",
bro.
We keep forgetting he's 6'5", bro.
And he's getting crafty with it, bro. Like there are times where Kobe White gets a rebound he really shouldn't because he literally times it perfectly, and the big guy's like, "Wait a second, I got it. No, I don't." What? And he's halfway down the court by then.
Yeah, and that's really, to me, looking at how Kobe White played tonight. You know what was missing tonight in this game, and of course, right, second of a back-to-back. But I think this was missing in the last game versus Milwaukee. Where's that third guy?
Yeah,
right.
No third guy.
Tonight it was
today.
Kobe and Vooch. Last night it was DeMar and Kobe.
Yeah.
Where's that third guy? That's who Zach LaVine was supposed to be. Seems like that's not going to happen. You can't have it where you've got guys alternating, right? And to me, Patrick Williams, if there's any time for you to step up, my guy.
Yeah, today was old Patrick.
Now,
this was.
He still took 8 shots. He was 2 for 5 from the 3-point line, but there was just so many opportunities where I was like,
"Bro, we got to end this segment. Don't start making any more points."
I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm sorry.
I just mess with you on that one.
I ain't even look at the time, bro. I was about to go in.
That was about to start going on a whole different tangent.
When I bring P. Will up, here we go. Man.
I already know. That's why I'm like, let me stop him here because it's gonna get started. Next up, we're gonna be talking about the details coming out that the Bulls are looking for win now players instead of going rebuild, which has surprised some people, even though me and Pat have been telling you guys this for about a year.
What?
Before we get into that, we got to get into one of our sponsors, and that is eBay Motors. Our partners at eBay Motors have teamed up with Locked On Fantasy Basketball host Josh Lloyd to bring you some of the best fantasy picks each week, all season long. Whether you've been preparing for a daily draft or scouting the waiver wire, every week we're going to provide you players that are guaranteed to fit on your roster. So let's see who Josh picked out for us in this week's eBay's Guaranteed Fit Fantasy Picks of the Week. And so he has on this list Isaiah Hartenstein, specifically mentioning the fact that now that Mitchell Robinson is going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks, and even though the Jericho Sims has stepped into that starting position, Isaiah Hartenstein is the one that's closing games over this stretch of time. Pat, me and you talked about Isaiah Hartenstein before, back when he was a free agent, maybe even hoping that the Bulls could have went out and got him. When you look at the performance that you think now with an increased role, how do you think Isaiah Hartenstein is going to perform in that role?
I'm about to go pick him up right now. I didn't even think about Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm finna use that information on that one. See? No, I mean, listen, he's a nice piece to have going down the stretch. I mean, listen, they got like 76 centers on that team. I still forgot. I forgot he was even there. Pretty good player, good rebounder, good defender, and gonna be able to do some things down low in the post.
Exactly. And I think with the increased role as well, he's averaging over 56% shooting from the field, averaging 5.6 rebounds per game. So you expect those to go up. So if you need that in your fantasy league, look at Isaiah Hartenstein, can come in there, provide you some depth, maybe even get you a couple of wins. But with that said, Josh Lloyd from Locked On Fantasy Basketball is going to help you win your fantasy championship. And eBay Motors knows a championship team is about each player being the perfect fit. Same with your vehicle. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you can make sure that your ride stays running smoothly. Brake kits, LED headlights, roof rack, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's a guarantee to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. All right, Pat.
Take a breath. Jesus.
Hey, listen, man, listen. It is what it is. I listen to a lot of Twister, so it's good. I don't need breath. It is what it is. So have I ever told you the story of the time that I went to a concert that Twister was on, and I was literally rapping his verse, and he asked me to come on stage?
No,
I got to rap a verse next to Twister. I was 25 years old. I thought it was the best thing that ever happened in my life.
Did you spit it bar for bar?
I spit it bar for bar.
Good man.
Yeah, there you go. With that said, Pat, so
well, you with your dad, because then they're gonna be like, you got to skip some of the words.
You got to skip it. I can't. I will split you off. Hey, listen, it's better than going to that Ashanti Ja Rule Nelly concert.
Oh, shots again. They didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve it.
So we got a report today, man, coming out that the Chicago Bulls are looking for win now players in the case of any trades that they're going, signaling what we've been telling people: a full rebuild is not coming. How do you feel about that, Pat?
Duh. I gave you stats about the guy that go back to 2003, and people doubted what we were going to say. they doubted what the Bulls were gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, what? Of course they're not gonna rebuild. Of course they're looking for win now players. And here's the thing: you have a young player in Kobe White who's actually playing well and gives you a long-term option at the position. Who you just re-signed.
Why'd you emphasize long like that so much?
Okay, that's a stretch. I'm challenging that. That's a challenge flag on the play. I'm challenging that. I need something.
I don't know, bro.
Hey, yo, what is that? Wait, what is that? What was that? Oh God.
But no, I agree with you. Like AK, he is who we told you he was. Like, and
100%.
It's not even about tooting our own horn. Like, to me, you have to believe what people are telling and showing you.
Yeah.
This is going to be a team that is going to, as long as they can, is going to try to put out a team that is going to try to win basketball games. That doesn't say how successful or not they're going to be at it. That's because they're aiming for at least a playing spot. Doesn't mean that they're going to hit it, but it is going to be a team that's going to try to do it. You're not going to run into a situation with this Chicago Bulls team, as long as this front office is running it, to where they're a team that's trying to have one of the worst records in the NBA to guarantee any type of lottery position or anything like that. That's just not coming.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing that people need to realize with this front office, and it feels like this is going to be the thing that's going to irritate people the most, right? That this is that they want to remain competitive. It's such a weird thing to say, right? Like, the thing that's going to irritate people the most is that this Chicago Bulls team wants to remain competitive. They want win now players. The problem is and I think this is the biggest question that all Bulls fans have, and that I'm all in favor of asking: what are you trying to win? Right? Like, are we just trying to win regular season games? Or are we just trying to like get
the hearts
to the
of
playoffs? Are you trying to be a top playoff team? Because the trades that are going to get you win now pieces are probably something from LA, probably something from Philly, and we've heard. I think Shams was talking about it today that those are the two teams that are rumored to be in on it. What are we getting? PJ Tucker? Like, what's coming back here?
I swear to the Heavenly Father above, if we trade for PJ Tucker, you're hosting the show by yourself for 2. I need 48 hours. I just don't know, right? Like, I get the win now. I get the win now statement. I get all of that. But like, what are you trying to win? What's your goal? Is your goal to win a championship? And even with that, right? Like, where are you trying to get this season? What is your goal for this season? Is it just development now? Are we talking about build? Because to me, bringing in D'Angelo Russell hinders the development of Kobe White. Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You're putting D'Lo next to Kobe White. You're not benching Kobe.
I would say this: putting D'Lo next to Kobe White would be just as egregious as putting DeMar next to Zach LaVine, for the people who complain about that. They're just younger, and they both can shoot threes. But other than that, it's two people that both need the ball in their hands.
Yep.
Neither one is great off the ball. And like you said, you're taking away at that point from the player that has, throughout all of this, has been the one to show you that he has some star potential in Kobe White. Now, maybe it's D'Lo in the trade, but maybe they find a third team. Maybe that's the case. They get more assets back. That could be the thing. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't understand. I would not be able to understand a backcourt of Kobe White and D'Lo, and you're telling us that development matters. Like, I can't see that.
Yeah, and to me, you're putting yourself back in the same position of maybe what Zach LaVine could have been if you don't bring DeMar DeRozan around, or what Kobe White could have been if you don't go out and get Lonzo Ball, right? Like, what Larry Markkinen became by just going away and being a part of a different organization, right? Like, those are the questions on development that I have.
He went to a team and proved that he can put up big stats on a losing team.
You said what?
He went to a team and proved that he can put up big numbers on a losing team.
I mean, yeah, for sure. but
I just
but
think
he's
that
still
people
able
try
to
to
put
act
up
like Larry went. Now, I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying for the Bulls fans, like, Larry went. Do you see the numbers that he put up? Yeah, and they won 7 games.
Hey, the Jazz are trash. Now we're not.
It's like for the same people that complain about Zach LaVine and say he's an empty calorie scorer. That doesn't mean anything. He hasn't won anything. Yeah, okay. Larry's just 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I'd rather have the 7 foot tall one though.
There's something to be said about that. So,
By the way, before we get up out of this segment, man, the craziness from Jokic getting ejected tonight caused some people on Twitter to go absolutely ballistic. And this was the wildest one of the night here from Bulls Muse. Big shout out to Bulls Muse. Jokic with the softest what of all time. Got to make sure that spell check is right, brother.
Bro, that's gotten so many people. Somebody was in the Central chat during the halftime hangout and said that too. And it was like, what? First of all, that just tells me that you typed that word in so much in your phone. Because I did it. Go and try to type in that. It literally corrects it. So if your autocorrect doesn't catch that means that you are typing that word way too much.
Hold up. I'm gonna wait for it. It literally changed it to ejection.
That's what I'm saying.
It literally changed it to ejection. Hey, man, listen, I mean, maybe he's doing that a lot. I don't know. Like, shout out to him. I mean, it's not a bad thing.
You know the joke I was about to make? Who signed into our YouTube account? I almost made that joke.
All righty. We're going to keep this thing moving along. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love to another episode. Got to talk about this Ring of Honor. Oh, God, the word ring is a little tough right now. But before we do that, we do got to tell you guys about FanDuel. My God, it is getting wild in here. Bulls Muse, you did this, man. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot over on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is no better time to get in on the action. The app is easy to use. It comes with so many different betting options. I'm talking spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to kick off this NFL season. Let's see what FanDuel has to offer today. They always got a nice parlay going up here. Oh, hold on. Is this a little EPL action here? Hold on now. Newcastle versus AC Milan, over under 2.5 goals. Newcastle hitting the money line. Newcastle to score the first goal. And Alexander Isk, an anytime goal scorer. Don't know how to say his name. I don't actually watch soccer. But $10 can get you $45 right now if you go to FanDuel.com. That's one of the many props they have just available on there. So visit FanDuel.com/locked on to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
I'm professional. I'm sorry, bro. I missed
That was crazy, bro. I mean, you think he knows he's still signed in? He's got to.
He has to, bro. If he doesn't, there's some major problems there.
Yeah. For all the podcast listeners, because I wasn't gonna say that on the stream. Yeah, you got to go check the YouTube video out for that. Because my God, that was
yeah.
Or just go to Bulls Muse Twitter. Big shout out to Bulls Muse. Tweets out some great stats. Love the work that he does. But
I mean, that tweet was a little premature.
Bro, so, he even had Stacey King on the retweet during the game, bro.
That's funny. But with that said, man, we got the Bulls have announced the Ring of Honor. So much like a lot of sports teams nowadays are just moving away from retiring numbers. And the Bulls have done that for a while. It popped up with Dennis Rodman recently popping up in Chicago. Why? And I think Dennis said it, right? Like he would love to see his jersey number retired at some point. The Bulls aren't retiring jerseys, but now today they announced they are doing a Ring of Honor, something you're seeing more throughout sports. And the inaugural class is Jerry Sloan, Bob Love, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, Chet Walker, Artis Gilmore, Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson, Jerry Krause, Johnny Red Kerr, Tex Winter, and Dick Clean. And then the 1995-96 championship team that went 72-10.
What'd you say that last name was?
Klein. Oh, man.
Yo. Hey, yo. Hey, bro. Hey, why'd you go with that bar? Clean?
Dick Clean?
What is this, Coming to America?
Dick Klein.
Oh,
I apologize.
God, bro. Whoa. I was like, I don't remember him doing a finger roll.
Why'd you have to use that bar?
Hey, man, listen, after that, nothing beats that. just rolled off your tongue too. It was so quick. It was a foul.
Hey, listen, it's clean. What do you think about the Ring of Honor, Pat? Jesus, man.
Just retire the jerseys.
You can't, bro. They're gonna run out of numbers, man.
Why can't you?
Just not doing it,
Let
bro.
me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Who else is putting on 33?
I mean,
now I know his is retired already, right? But there's certain ones that it's like, we don't need this. Who's putting on? First off, all of these guys aren't getting their numbers in the rafters, right? The Ring of Honor, I guess, for executives and some of the players, stuff like that.
They're going to create a wing in the UC for the Ring of Honor. So they're going to have
that. That kind of makes it cool. I love it for that aspect. But bro, Michael Carter Williams didn't even know he couldn't wear number 1. And fans literally bullied him into wearing 0.
Well, good. They should have.
But like, who's putting that number on? I literally, that team that came after Derek didn't even use his locker.
I know, that was crazy. You remember that?
Who's, I guess, right? Like Julian Phillips wearing 13 is as close as it gets, but I almost can live with that.
But that's the thing. I think now with this created, you're going to see, keep in mind, are you going to see it immediately? Me and you may never see somebody wear number 1 again, but as you get further away from that, somebody will wear number 1. It's going to happen eventually.
Probably, but I think it's also right. Like even with Jokic, we did the podcast on, the expectations that come with the number that he has on. Now, I think Julian Phillips, for a rookie and the little time that he's gotten, has lived up to that hard hustle part. Yeah. I mean, maybe he had some muscle and a little bit more, finishing at the rim or knocking down that 3 ball. But I just don't feel like I guess I don't dislike it, but it feels like something to do in a season where you don't expect your team to win a lot.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is, of course, the Bulls once again using nostalgia as a way to be like, hey, yeah, we may be sucking right now, but you remember these guys?
We may be sucking, but you remember Dick Clean?
Let's go, bro. Because we're not getting past it on this episode now. It's time to go, bro. It's done. I ruined the rest of the episode, guys. I apologize.
You literally blew us overseas and went clean.
Hey, bro. I'm tired, man. Leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone. My brain isn't working all the way right now.
This is a German name, ain't it? Ain't Klein a German name?
Don't worry about what I said. Leave me alone. That's what I got to say. Stop picking on me. Leave me alone.
Oh, God. Hey, man, big shout out to bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I know a lot of Bulls history. Who is this, bro?
Who's what? Dick Clean?
Yeah.
If you don't know Dick Clean, then hey, bro, that says a lot about you, man.
Nope. Nope.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, bro. Oh, okay. All right. I guess I do. Never mind.
I was about to say, bro.
I take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to. I tweaked on that one. No, it's the clean that threw me off, bro. It's the clean. It's the clean, bro. I'm like, what am I looking at here?
Oh, man. Let's go, bro.
Let's get up out of here, man. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. You can follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. Jesus, that's a tough episode.
Hey, man, I love you guys. You can follow me at CEO Haize, man, for Pat the Designer. Oh, wait, before we do that, you guys can make sure you subscribe to us on any podcasting app and platform of your choice. You can also follow us on YouTube and the Odyssey app. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This has been Locked On Bulls, and we out, y'all.
Peace. Don't disrespect the man that created the Bulls, bro.